Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another Yarnism class. Grand Rising, good morning. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing today? Of course, you already know I am Kasha Divine. So I'm here to, again, just teach you about Yarnism. And today we're going to be talking about time and its consciousness correlation, okay? Okay, so we're going to be diving into a sacred text today. And because we're dealing with time, we're going to be in metaphysics. So metaphysics has to do with the big questions of existence: who, what, when, where, and why. And today we'll be dealing with when, okay? We must not forget to do our chant ode to the Black Goddess, okay? So we're gonna quickly go over that, okay? So please chant with me. Do not be afraid to chant with me. Om Kring Kali Kaye Namo Namaha. 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 Okay, namaste, namaste. So the first thing we're going to be dealing with is what is time? Now, when we think about time, right, we think about the constructs that we have created as human beings. We honestly, obviously, time is an illusion. Okay, time is an illusion. You know, the past is basically our memories, right? That is what we remember of the past is what the past is, and we create anxiety about a future that we have not yet experienced. So to the Divine Mother, there is really only now, especially when we are talking about our time versus her time. Our time is significantly longer than her time. If you remember, we spoke about our entire existence of this entire reality, billions and billions of years, is what is the time span between her blinks. So when she closed her eyes, this reality no longer exists. Okay, it's no longer there. And when she opens her eyes, this reality manifests. Okay, that is the understanding of the perceiver. Okay, and a lot of us, we understand that, we know that. Some of us never have heard of that before. I can go into that deeper. I did mention it briefly previously in a previous class, but I can definitely go into that more about how reality does not exist unless there is someone observing it. And the same goes for our realities. That's why a lot of times when you speak with someone, you are speaking to them from their perception of what's in their world, in their bubble, what they create with their observations. That's why people could be looking at the same thing and perceive two different situations, even though they're looking at the same thing. Okay? But we're going to dive into what time is, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce you guys to the Emerald Tablets. Okay? The Emerald Tablets. This is today's sacred text, and when I started journeying, okay, down the rabbit hole, and obviously it doesn't make sense to utilize the King James Holy Bible as the end-all be-all of Holy Scripture. I wanted to go beyond that. I knew that Hebrew is not the first language, so I wanted to go beyond that. Like, what existed beyond that, right? So beyond that, we have the Emerald Tablets. Now, when we go back into scriptures or holy texts or any particular wisdom that has been hidden or from the beginning, that's when things are actually on tablets and not on paper. Okay, that's when things are carved into stone. Okay, and that's what we're diving into today. So it's now on paper because of modern day and age, and it has been translated. Okay, so this is what we're going to be dealing with. This is the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean, translated by Dory L. Okay, so this is a book that I recommend we all have, simply for just the reasons I'm going to show you today. I'm going to read a little bit of what's in here just to give you guys an understanding of what time is, because this is not any particular knowledge you would get from the Bible, or at least the edited version of the Bible, right? So there, of course, we know that there has been a lot that has been taken out, and as we dive into those, we'll see why. Okay, so our sacred text for today . Okay. So I'm gonna, there's actually so much information here. And if you don't know who Thoth is, he is a part of the ancient Atlantean civilization, okay? And if you understand, I don't know if you guys believe in Atlantis, right? But obviously that is a civilization that actually existed, okay? Let's just keep it real. You know, basically what they show us in movies and things like that, and they put the label of fiction on it, that does not mean that it's fiction, because where did they get the idea from? Right? Okay. So where did they get the idea from? Okay. So right here, this tablet is called the Key of Time. Okay. And there's 13 tablets. Okay. 12 plus 1, yes. 13 tablets. So this tablet is called the Key of Time. So I want to explain what time is before we get into understanding cyclical time rather than linear time, okay? What we're on now versus what we should be on. Okay, now let me get my glasses. So I'm just going to be reading an excerpt of tablet 10, okay? Far through strange places have I journeyed into the depth of the abyss of time, learning strange and yet stranger mysteries, until in the end all was revealed. Know ye that mystery is only mystery when it is knowledge unknown to man. When ye have plumbed the heart of all mystery, knowledge and wisdom will surely be thine. Seek ye and learn that time is the secret, whereby ye may be free of this space. Long have I, Thoth, sought wisdom, and shall seek to eternity's end. For know I that ever before me receding shall move the goal I seek to attain. Even the lords of the cycles know that not yet have they reached the goal. For with all of their wisdom, they know that truth ever grows. So he's talking about his deep search for wisdom and how it is never ending. Okay? Once in a past time, I spoke to the dweller, asked of the mystery of time and space, asked him the question that surged in my being, saying, O Master, what is time? Then to me spoke he, the Master. Know ye, O Thoth, in the beginning there was void and nothingness, a timeless, spaceless nothingness. And into the nothingness came a thought, purposeful, all-pervading, and it filled the void. There existed no matter, only force, a movement, a vortex, or vibration of the purposeful thought that filled the void. And I questioned the Master, saying, was this thought eternal? And answered me the dweller, saying, in the beginning there was eternal thought. And for thought to be eternal, time must exist. So into the all-pervading thought grew the law of time. A time which exists through all space, floating in a smooth rhythmic movement that is eternally in a state of fixation. Time changes not, but all things change in time. For time is the force that holds events separate, each in its proper place. Time is not in motion, but ye move through time, as your consciousness moves from one event to another. By time ye exist all in all an eternal one existence. Know ye that even though in time ye are separate, yet still are one in all times existent. Ceased then the voice of the dweller, and departed I to ponder on time. For a new eye, that in these words lay wisdom and a way to explore the mysteries of time. Okay? Now, hopefully you guys kind of understood what was happening, but I'll go over it, okay? So what the dweller, the master, is basically bestowing upon Thoth is that time existed once thought existed. So time doesn't exist in the void. Nothing exists in the void. But once the perceiver begins to perceive, two things happen. Time begins because now separation begins. So out of the one comes the many. Okay? So that's basically what time is. Time is basically a separation of one thing. Okay? It's our perception of time that makes time existent. But time technically isn't existent, which is why they said time is not in motion, but you can move through time. Okay? So when we as humans perceive time as in past, present, future, when there's truly only the present, in the oneness, the great mother, in the womb, there's only darkness, right? There's truly only darkness. And in that cosmic womb, the all-pervading waters, right? The primal energy. There is no past or future. It just is. It just is, right? But once observation happens, that oneness begins to, that thought, right? They said thought. Thought is, like I said, the womb is in itself a mind, right? Once thought happens, things start moving. Okay, things start moving, things start manifesting, right? So does separation and time. Because that's what time is. Time is the art of placing things in its proper place. That's what time is. Okay? And I'll write that down. That's why we have calendars. That's why we have years, days, months, hours, minutes, seconds. We do that to basically perceive order. The universe itself has order, but we have to perceive that order. So in order to perceive that order, we break things up and place things in its proper place, and that's what we call time. Okay? So that's pretty much what time is. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically introduce you guys to cyclical time, because one time that we are on right now is linear time. And as I stated before, that's not proper. If you remember, even in here, it tells you that time is cyclical. Where is it? It says, even the lords of the cycles know that ye not yet have they reached the goal. For with all of their wisdom, they know that truth ever grows. Okay? So, yes, absolutely. Time is cyclical. So when we look at time, right? When they're talking about time from the all-pervading, let's say the source is here. Right? This is source. Basically, they're saying that time came out of this and grew. But things, when they grow, they don't grow like this or like this. They don't grow like that. How does time grow? Time grows like this. Right? Everything grows and moves in spiral motion. And we see that in the golden ratio. This is sacred geometry that we're talking about, right? This is sacred geometry that we're talking about. And this is what's apparent in many of, basically almost everything of this existence, you know? So when we look at the spiral from the side, what do we see? I probably didn't draw that the best way, but you know what I mean. So this is a spiral from the side. It starts small, it gets bigger, it gets bigger, it gets bigger, right? But where do we see this? Where do we see this? If I take this piece, right, and I start erasing the apparent loops, as you would say, what do you notice? It acts more like a wave. It looks like a wave. Okay? So this is up, right? Down, up, down, up, down, up. Right? So when we are looking at the medical field, right? When we're looking at the medical field and we see, let's get rid of the loops, right? Let's get rid of the loops. When we look at the medical field, we see the heart monitor. And when the heart monitor is flat, right, then that would say that the person is no longer living, right? No longer living. But when there's heartbeat, you see the waves. Even the heart beats in a particular rhythm, okay? So that means that the universe works in a rhythm, a rhythmic movement. When you notice the heart, the way that it beats, it doesn't just go like this. It goes like this. Because it's moving in a circular motion. So the beat is moving in a circular motion. It's creating a wave. What we're looking at it as, we're looking at it utilizing our instruments. Again, our perception is limited. That's one thing we have to always remember. And because our perception is limited, we don't know the truth of this existence. But we can see with, even with the limited instruments that we have, that everything is cyclical. Even with the sound wave. A sound wave, what we're looking at here, sound wave moves like this. It is an ever-increasing sound wave. Light moves the same way. Okay? But this is documented in straight lines because that's how we perceive it. But that does not mean that this is exactly what it is. Okay? And this ends up being a flat line, meaning once the person is able to perceive, they are alive. They are now witnessing this existence. right? And when that person is flatlined, they're no longer perceiving now, are they? Now they have gone back where? Gone back to source. You got it? Okay. Hopefully, I explained that properly for you guys and you understand what I'm saying. But I just had to go over that just to show you how we could easily be missing things that's right in front of our face. You know what I'm saying?